Board.
Got my presenting stick.
Okay, that's alright, just point or something. Alright, off you go.
That's dirty. One sec. Okay, so this is my big presentation done by me, and basically just before we get into it, I'm the only person in my group. Okay. Do I have to stand in front of the camera? Or?
It's not too much difference
Okay,
between where I am, so.
Right, so my concept idea for my concept idea for my FMP is basically I want to draft and then develop a short film script. A short film script that revolves around time as a theme, obviously. And the film's basic story that I was going, the short film's basic story that I was going to go with was it was going to be revolving around a scientist who had developed a time travel device, but before he can use it, he is stopped by a future version of himself who warns him not to do it or it will end the world, only for then another future version of himself to come back and tell him, don't worry about what he's saying, everything kind of turns out okay. Which then leads into more showing up, each one telling him a different future where it's good, bad, everything, all things that happened, and if he should or not. This gets to the point of when the scientist is then overflowed with future versions of himself and is to a point where he is just lost all patience and decides to destroy the machine altogether, making all of the scientists then disappear. The disappearance of them will then leads him to taking a breath and saying, well, no more time travel for me. Guess I'll guess I'll start traveling through parallel dimensions. Only for then a parallel dimension to open up and a version of him saying, don't you think about it. And that will be where we end up. As you can see, through my primary research, my original ideas, this was not one of my original ideas. This was an idea that I furtherly developed for the reason of, in my primary research, I could see, basically I thought that a lot of my ideas seemed a little convoluted, a little complex to describe / deliver. So I thought of creating a different one, which still held similarities to a couple of my original ideas, but this one is more understandable in a way, like the whole concept idea of it is more understandable. My roles and responsibilities of this would obviously be script writing, because that's the main thing that I'm going for. I want to write a script, but then that would also connect into things like concept development, arc development, character creation, stuff like that, all revolving into script writing and all that. My target audience idea would possibly be groups E to D. The reason why I believe this, would be the best thing to go, best target audience to strive for, is because I want to put a bit of comedy into my script. I'm not decided on entirely what the type of comedy would be, but more along it's comedy in the way where it's self-aware of itself, if that makes sense. So having jokes of just like the actual character losing track of what is happening, or things where it's just like, I really have no idea what's going on, do you? It's like, not at all. Fair enough. But things like this, and I chose an age range of 15 to 25 because I feel like that's an old enough standpoint where the comedy will be able to be understood. The comedy would be able to be understood, as well as it would be able to, they would be able to understand what is going on in the actual sort of in the actual sort of short film itself. I went mainly for male as my target gender for the whole reasons of considering my primary research was not very accurate, but from what I got, mostly males seem to have answered the questionnaire to what I have extended to. I did deliver it to other people outside of this class, however, so that's what I got. Also, a good point of it being 15 to 25, if in an age range of 15 to 25, is if this film was adapted into a feature film, it would be quite well, because the average feature film age audience is about 14 to 24. So yeah. Influences and styles I'd like to go over are sort of mainly towards the short film areas that I got off of YouTube to go with, being Pizza Time by Tom Scar and Self-Fulfilling Idiocy, the Self-Fulfilling Idiocy series. I can never pronounce those words properly. More along the lines of Self-Fulfilling Idiocy, in a way where it's his future self coming back to warn him on different things, but their sort of style in comedy more, instead of what Pizza Time is. The other two were examples of different time travel genres, but not really what I was striving for. Steins Gate is a bit too serious, even though it does have its comedic moments, and Time Bandits just seemed a little too free-willed, if you know what I mean, like not enough rule structure. And my intended experimentations that I would be looking into would be character development, story structure, dialogue writing, and redrafting methods, as you can see through my pictures here. How I will be doing this is by looking into different sort of actual script writers or actual story writers, in a way, to see how they have done it. For example, I'll be looking into, sorry, I can never pronounce her last name, Pilar Alessandra, I can't pronounce her last name. How she shows character development, for an example, is she will physically show a character developing a new skill, or character developing an ability or somehow. And the way how she also structures stories is structuring it around a character itself. Same with different example with Blake Snyder. He shows character development by playing a character how they should be, not them pretending to be someone they're not. And also how his classic story structure of his beat sheet, the Blake Snyder beat sheet of his story structure. All that. Okay.
Okay, so throughout this, what stages are you going to be doing everything?
That's what I knew I was okay. Being completely honest, I do not work very well in plotting out. I'm aware that is a thing that is needed to be done because of the course and everything. Plotting is not a very good, future plotting is not a very good staple point for mine. I'm aware of that. But for the most part, I feel like a lot of my work would just be focused on writing and rewriting the script over and over, trying to get it perfect. So a lot of my time will be taken up by that. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the free time when I'm not doing actual needed work, I will be working on the script. So you want to be marked on the script? Yes, I am. But are you still shooting? I am not developing a short film. It is just the script. Is it just the script? Yes. How long do you intend your script to be? Considering I should have added that in actually. My plotted out time for a short film was to be 5 minutes or less. So, in all honesty, around about a 5-page script or so. Mm-hmm. I think, is that the right calculation? It's about a page a minute, yeah. Yeah, page a minute. And so, with the male as your target audience, why are you appealing to one specific gender? I know you said it was to do with your questions, but overall, I would see that. Overall, I would see that this would target both males and females. The reason why target male has been put onto my target gender of male has been put onto my target audience is because mostly males ended up answering my question. The majority of people who ended up answering my questionnaire were male. Granted, I will not exclude females from being in the target audience because, as you can see, there is 25% of the overall results of it were female who answered. So I would I would try to connect it, target it towards females as well.
Who did you ask for your target audience?
Most people in this class and a few extra people outside, including a couple of friends of mine as well, who are not really media oriented, and the rest of my family. So.
Okay. Anything else you want to?
Some members of my family. My mum and dad were unable because they were too busy working.
Okay.
My brother and sister helped as well as they could.
Anything else you would like to add?
Not really. Do I have any more notes to justify or say about? No, I think I'm good.
Okay, cool.